Okay, so we will soon learn what git stashing is in this particular commands. In this video, I want to explain why it's a thing. What is the problem that git stashing or git stash solves? So imagine for just a moment here, we're working on a repository and I'm on the master branch. You can see up top on the right side, I've got a single file I'm working on, a Python file called cat.py. So I'm doing a whole bunch of work, and then I make some commits. And then I switch over to a new branch. I just make that new branch, I switch to it, it's called Puppy, and I do some more work over here. And then I have some uncommitted work on this Puppy branch. So I never committed this dog file, for example. And then I need to switch back to master. I don't know why. Something's wrong, I need to switch back quickly. What happens if I have a file or 100 files, if I have uncommitted changes on one branch and I switch to another branch? Well, there's really two options. One is that those changes will just come with me to the destination branch. They'll just come along and show up on the master branch in this case. The other option is that Git won't let me switch, and I actually showed this early on when I first introed branching. Git will give you a message if there's a conflict between files. It's not going to let you just switch to a new branch and bring that conflict over. So I'm going to show this in a very simple way. I'm going to try and illustrate it here with some HTML and some CSS in a new Git repo. But this is a problem, or it could be a problem. There are lots of times you might be working on something, but you're not done. You don't want to make an actual official commit, but you need to go somewhere else. You need to go to a different branch. A coworker asks for help. You realize that there's a really simple typo that you could fix in a different branch. You don't need to wait until you make a commit on your current branch because we can stash changes. So let me show you a situation where this would be useful. I am in a new folder. It's just called stashing. Just a little demo. It's not a repo at the moment. I am going to make it one. And I'm going to make an index.html file and an app.css file. So if you don't know CSS and HTML, it's totally fine. I'm just going to illustrate this here. I'm going to make a simple HTML file. I'll just call it hello. I'll have an H1 in here, a heading. Hello world. Again, the HTML is not the point of this video, and I'll add some lorem ipsum in a paragraph. And then I'm going to connect this app.css file. So I'll just do a link, app.css. Okay, so nothing crazy. I have an empty CSS file, and if I view my file in the browser, this is what it looks like right now. And let's just say that's all I want on the master branch. So I'm going to add and commit. Git add, git commit, everything. Okay, create index.html and app.css. Okay, so this is done on the master branch. Now I create a new branch. So git switch, let's just do it -c. And I'm going to call this branch something like purple, for example. And I'll show you why in a moment. I'm going to work on making a purple version of this website where I add some changes into app.css that will make my website purple. So I'll do things like H1 should have a color of purple. I'll save, I refresh, and there it is. We have some purple there. Maybe I'll do the body has a purple background color. Background color should be, let's not do purple, let's do, is there like a light purpley color that I can just name? Okay, I chose lavender. Okay. I don't know if that's going to show up great on a screen recording, but you can see I've made some changes here. We have some purpley stuff. However, I'm not going to commit. For whatever reason, I need to go back to master for a moment. I've been called away, and I'm going to switch. So right now, if I type git status, we can see it says, oh, you have some changes in app.css. They're not staged for commits. There's no commits on this branch. If I switch right now to master, git switch master, no problem. I didn't get a warning or I didn't get an alert that says you can't do that. I'm on master right now, but I still see this purple web page. My changes came with me. So that was the first scenario here. If I make changes and they're not committed, they can come with me to the destination branch, assuming they don't conflict. And I don't have any conflicts here, right? This is basically if I was merging, it would be a fast forward. But anyway, nothing has been added or committed, and you'll see if I type git status, it still says, those changes are not staged for commit right now. Okay, So that's one option. If I go back to purple, git switch purple, I can add those changes and, git commit, make stuff purple. Okay, and then I'll go back to master, git switch master, and now those changes are gone. They didn't come with me because I committed them over on the purple branch, and then I switched over. They didn't come with me. Great. Okay, so next up, I'm going to show this second scenario, which is also common. If Git detects potential conflicts, it's not going to be happy with us. It won't let us switch branches if we haven't added and committed those changes. So I'm going to make a new branch here, git switch -c. I'm on master. And this new branch, let's see, maybe I'll change the name of our web page. I'm going to call it goodbye. All right, so goodbye world. I'll just do goodbye. It's easier to type. Alrighty, so I'm on this new branch, but before I do anything on the new branch, I'm going to go back to master, git switch master, and I'm going to change something on here. Instead of hello world, let's do hello world with a bunch of exclamation points, like that, and a bunch up here. Okay, so now I'm going to add and commit my changes on master, git add dot, git commit -m, update hello greeting. Now I'm going to switch back to our goodbye branch. So at the moment, this goodbye branch still has the older version, right? We don't have all these exclamation points. And if I update this to be goodbye world, and this says goodbye here, but I don't add and commit, I switch over to master from here. I have unstaged, uncommitted changes. I'm going to switch back to master. It won't let me. This is that second scenario. Your local changes to the following files would be overwritten by switching, or by checkout. Index.html, please commit your changes, or stash them before you switch branches. So this is a common scenario, or at least somewhat common, where I need to switch over. I need to go back to this master branch for whatever reason. Imagine it's a much more complicated project. I need to switch over to some branch. It doesn't have to be master. But I have work that is uncommitted on my current branch, and Git is not going to let me switch. Or I don't want the changes to come with me, like I didn't want those purple changes to come with me when I switched to master. So this is where git stash comes in. If I don't want to commit, I'm not ready to make a commit, it's unnecessary, I can use git stash to sort of pause, to save my changes without actually committing them. So that's what we're going to learn how to do in the next video.